BFM 부산영어방송.
Hello everyone, I'm James from India. Ever since I was a young boy in India, I have been surrounded by different Korean products, and this instilled a dream in me to explore Korea one day. This chance came for me in 2014 when I began attending Busan National University as a graduate student in computer engineering. I have lived in Korea for over 7 years, and I even run my own business now, a company that is developing a platform based on artificial intelligence and blockchain technology. From my experience, I can say with an absolutely certainty that Busan was the best place for me to start my business, thanks to the specialized blockchain zone. In the past 7 years, Busan has become my second home, and I obviously love it here. Global City Busan, we are in it together. This campaign was brought to you by BFM 부산영어방송.
It's summertime, and with that comes the heat wave. Here's how to prepare for the unwelcome but unavoidable heat. First, tune into your TV or radio and listen for the latest weather forecasts. Try to stay indoors. Refrain from extreme activities, particularly the elderly or those with pre-existing health conditions. If you must go outside, walk slowly, find shade, wear light-colored, loose clothing. To avoid sunburn, protect your skin with sunscreen, wide-brimmed hats, or sun parasols. For those working outside, take frequent breaks and drink water, even if you don't feel thirsty. If you're inside, block UV rays and keep the temperature between 26 and 28 degrees Celsius. Get to know the signs of heat stroke. If you see anyone showing heat stroke symptoms, immediately call 119 or 1339, the Emergency Medical Information Center. We can't beat the summer sun, but let's do all we can to stay healthy this summer. This campaign is brought to you by BEFM, 부산영어방송.
The time is now 2 o'clock.
Welcome to BFM News at 2. I'm David Kim. The United States imposed sanctions on a China-based network of 6 individuals and 5 entities for their alleged role in procuring items for North Korea's ballistic missile and space programs. This action follows North Korea's persistent ballistic missile launches, including a failed military spy satellite attempt in May, which violated UN Security Council resolutions. The U.S. Treasury Department emphasized that these sanctions reinforce the UNSC resolutions and the U.S.'s commitment to combating sanctions evasion and enforcing efforts. Undersecretary Brian Nelson highlighted that North Korea's continued missile development is irresponsible and destabilizing, and the U.S. will use its tools to disrupt illicit procurement networks and hold enablers accountable. As per data from the Bank of Korea, South Korea's economy contracted by 0.2% in the second quarter due to weaker domestic demand despite strong exports. This decline follows a 1.3% growth in the first quarter, which was the highest since late 2021. Annually, the economy grew by 2.3% in quarter two, down from 3.3% in the first quarter. The contraction was expected due to a base effect. Private spending fell by 0.2% compared to a 1.3% increase in the previous quarter. Exports rose by 0.9%, down from 1.8% in the first quarter, while imports increased by 1.2% after a 0.4% decline. Government spending grew by 0.7% and construction investment dropped by 1.1%, following a 3.3% rise in the first quarter. In local news, the city of Busan announced today that it will launch the Busan Vibe campaign, which aims to discover and share hidden gems in the city. This campaign is a long-term project that annually selects a theme related to people, places, food, or culture of Busan to discover, record, and share elements that can foster pride and dignity in the city. Started in 2022 with the goal of making Busan a city where people would want to live again if they were reborn, the campaign is now in its third year. The Busan International Film Festival BIF Asia Content and Film Market is accepting applications for Platform Busan 2024 until August the 19th. Platform Busan, initiated in 2017 to promote Asian independent films, is now in its sixth year. Over the years, 848 participants from 41 countries have joined to share the latest updates in film production, distribution, and investment, and exchange information on notable directors and co-production projects in Asia. The 2024 Platform Busan will feature various networking programs, masterclass sessions, panel talks, and seminars. Busan City announced that it would sign a business agreement to promote the solar power energy sharing ESG project with the Korea Energy Agency, Korea Association of Energy Engineers, Hanwha Q-Cells, Dongyang EMP, and Grand Sun Technology Group in a conference room at the City Hall this afternoon. This agreement aims to facilitate cooperation between private and public institutions in the energy sector to jointly promote the solar power energy sharing ESG project. In international news, a typhoon Gemi made landfall on Taiwan's east coast near Hualien, bringing gusts up to 240 kilometers per hour, making it the most powerful storm to hit the island in 8 years. The storm caused 2 deaths and injured hundreds. Taiwan canceled its largest annual military drills, almost all domestic flights, and over 200 international flights. Gemi also caused severe flooding in the Philippines, particularly in Manila. The typhoon, equivalent to a Category 4 hurricane, led to the government declaring a typhoon day, suspending work and classes except on the Kinmen Islands. And now taking a quick look at the weather here. A special weather advisory for heat wave is in effect for Busan City, with the mercury currently reading 33 degrees Celsius. And that'll have to do it for this hour's news. Thank you for joining us. You're listening to BEFM Busan 영어방송.
Your best choice. BEFM Busan 영어방송.
Coming up next is 2 p.m. Reboot with Casey McKeever. BEFM Busan 영어방송.
When did desserts become such a big part of meals? The actual word dessert emerged in the 17th century, way back then, and it comes back from the French verb desservir, which means to clear the table. So originally, maybe desserts were just a palate cleanser, but they've gone on to become symbols of traditions and holidays, and desserts are a big part of many cultures worldwide. These days, as people from different cultures can interact much more easily, dessert fads and trends just keep popping up. Old ideas for some become new fascinations for others. Today, we're going to talk about some of these new dessert trends happening right here in Korea. It's Thursday, July 25th. This is the 2 p.m. Reboot. Let's get it started. You're listening to the 2 p.m. Reboot with Casey McKeever, and that song was Mr. Brightside by The Killers to start off the show for today. And if you've never heard that song before, I would actually be surprised because that one I've heard so many times, but I never knew the story surrounding it. I could tell there's definitely some romantic relationship problems there, but apparently The Killers guitarist Dave Kooning wrote the song about lead singer Brandon Flowers' ex-girlfriend who cheated on him. Ouch. That's a tough one. Brandon Flowers said, "I was asleep and I knew something was wrong. I have these instincts. I went out and my girlfriend was with another guy." Ouch. But that song went on to kind of be pretty famous for them. So I wonder how he feels about that, being constantly reminded of that. I guess at this point, he's like, well, it happened. The song actually initially lasted only 4 weeks in the UK Top 100 when it was released in 2004. But it's since become a staple of wedding parties. I find that strange. I don't know if that's irony, but that's interesting for sure. But also student discos, all kinds of get-togethers. This song just happens to be played a lot, especially in the UK. And if you're not familiar, The Killers are actually an American band from Las Vegas. The UK seems to really love them. Proof, on May 9th this year, the official charts company announced that Mr. Brightside had overtaken Oasis's Wonderwall to become the UK's biggest selling single never to actually reach number one. So yes, the UK constantly showing love for The Killers. Pretty cool. You're listening to us live in the studio here in Busan on this Thursday afternoon, and it is a hot one out there. Welcome to the program, everyone. You're listening to us on BEFM 90.5 here in Busan, 103.3 FM in Gijang, Jeongwon, and Noksan areas. In Seoul, we're on TBS EFM 101.3 FM, and in Gwangju, we're on GFN 98.7 FM. And thanks for joining us on this Thursday, wherever you might be today. Thank you to Kim Sung-kyung for the hands. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thanks for joining us. You can join us on YouTube as well. If you just search BEFM or Busan영어방송, you can see us right there. Sporting my Sea Cats shirt today. Awesome band out of Seattle. Much love for the Sea Cats. I don't know if they're still together, but they're an amazing band. And you can join us. I do need to let you know, when we do switch to music, when we play songs, we do have to mute it on YouTube because of a copyright issue. We apologize for the inconvenience. However, the show is completely uninterrupted on FM radio. And if you go to the App Store on your phone, you can also download our smartphone app. You can search BEFM or 부산영어방송, and you can download the app. And you can listen to us wherever you go. So that's a solution as well. And you can also reach us via the smartphone app as well. If you want to comment on the show, I will be checking messages throughout the show. And you can just say hi. Tell me how you're doing on this Thursday. If it's if it's enjoyable weather, I don't know. It was like kind of nice and cloudy at least. So it wasn't as hot as it could be, but it's definitely, there's some heat advisories going on. So it's going to be hot today for sure. So bear it, hang in there. I know it's going to get hot throughout this summer for sure, right? We've got a lot coming up for you on the show. In hour number 1, we've got Hot Off the Press, and that is 2 new songs that have recently been released. We'll give you some information about both the new songs and the artists behind them. And today is Thursday, so we've got Cheryl coming in for Parenting 101, and she's going to talk about how to be a better parent, how to relate to kids, but it's also kind of an overarching theme of how to have better relationships. And you can apply that to many different kinds of relationships, not just the kinds between parents and children. And in hour number 2 today, we're going to have our daily list. I guess I'm feeling the dessert, right? I was talking about desserts at the top of the show. I just had, I've been eating a lot of cookies. My wife is making cookies a lot these days at home. So I've been like the sampler. I've been taste testing them, giving feedback. So I've had all kinds of things. The latest creation was like a Ritz cracker cookie combination thing. She's making all kinds of wonderful creations. So I've had desserts on the mind. But I'm not the only one. Apparently desserts are trending here in Korea. And I thought for today's daily list, why not share 15 must-try desserts from around the world? I think on this list, I've actually only tried one of them. So I wanted to share some things that I want to try as well. They all look delicious and appetizing. And yes, do we need desserts in our lives? Apparently we do. It's a thing. And we'll talk about that in Inside Korea today also, because on Thursday we do that. We share some stories that are about maybe events or culture or news happening here in Korea. This one's about food culture. We're going to talk about some new dessert trends happening here in Korea that I was actually unaware of. I was aware of some older trends that people were into, which I didn't really partake in. But these new ones, I am all about it. I want to see what these are like, and I want to see where they're at. So I'll let you know those as well in hour number 2. And then today, we'll also end the show with our perfect playlist. This week's theme has been songs about the ocean. I'll give you a heads up. The Busan Sea Festival starts tomorrow. We're going to have a special show tomorrow as well. So we've been playing songs related to the ocean, to the sea, to the water. And we'll have 2 more for you today on this Thursday. We'll call it a Throwback Thursday. Some classic tunes for you. And also, I have a question of the day for you. It's a very simple one. And I'm curious, what's your favorite dessert? I think mine would probably be a toss-up between, I don't know, red velvet cake, tiramisu, New York-style cheesecake. Oh, man, I can keep going, actually. Hold on. There's a lot more. Carrot cake's really... Oh, I don't know. It's a hard question. Favorite dessert? Oh, this is actually harder than I thought. I'm just going to throw red velvet cake out there for now. But I might be able to change my mind. So my question is, 가장 좋아하는 후식. Yes, that's important, not 휴. 가장 좋아하는 후식은 무엇인가요? So your favorite dessert, throw them at me. It doesn't have to be your particular favorite, just one you really enjoy, one you'd like to share. Because I always can take new suggestions for desserts. There's just not enough dessert in life. You know, I can always add more to my life. So you can reach us here at shop 9050 or pound 9050 for 101. You can also message us for free if you go to the Kakao Talk app, search BEFM or 부산영어방송, add us, and then you can send us messages that way. Or, as I mentioned, you can download our smartphone app on your app store. Any old app store will do on your phone. Just search BEFM or 부산영어방송, and you can download the app, log in, send us some comments, and take us on the go. Go for a nice walk today in the shade. Hopefully, yes, in a very shady area, perhaps near the beach where it's a nice cool breeze. And you can listen to the show as you do that. We're going to take a quick song break. We're going to listen to Hello Goodbye by Oliver Cronin, and then we'll be back with Hot Off the Press.
Break up for the last time.
Welcome back to the 2 p.m. Reboot. That song was Hello Goodbye by Oliver Cronin, and now it is time for Hot Off the Press. We bring you 2 new songs every week, and we pick songs that we think you're really going to enjoy. Our first one today is At Your Feet by The Script. The Irish rock band have released this new single produced by Steve Robson, and it follows on from Both Ways in previewing the duo's new album, Satellites, which is due to come out on August 16th. The song has got infectious, ascending choruses. It's got stirring, emotive vocals. However, the track came about while the vocalist Danny was watching a football match on television, and one of the pundits said, "He plays with the world on his shoulders when it should be at his feet." So you never know where inspiration will come from. Our second song for today is Angel of My Dreams by Jade, and Little Mix's Jade Thirlwall shared this debut solo single, which explores the 31-year-old's love-hate relationship with the pop industry. She's been involved with that since her former band Little Mix launched in 2011. The song starts with a sample of Sandy Shaw's Puppet on a String before it morphs into a melodic pop ballad and then evolves into a production-heavy dance banger. So we've got a couple of interesting choices for you today. First, At Your Feet by The Script, followed by Angel of My Dreams by Jade. Welcome back to the 2 p.m. Reboot. And that music means it is Parenting 101 time. And Cheryl's in the studio. Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good to see you again.
I'm flowery today.
You're very flowery. You're
Yes,
tropical.
I'm
You're
tropical.
feeling it.
Well, the weather last week was just so bizarre. Like rain when we're not expecting it to rain.
Right.
So I wanted something light that can dry really quickly just in case.
So it's about drying quickly.
It's about drying quickly
I gotcha.
because we never know when it's going to rain.
Right. It's been that kind of weird weather, and also flowers like rain.
Exactly.
So you never know. Right. So that's good. And also, light is perfect timing for July as well, right?
It's so humid.
Yeah. Oh, it's not my favorite time of year, to be honest. But I guess we're not here to talk about the weather. What are we here to talk about today?
So today, with the newest animation movie about emotions out recently, I was thinking about core memories. So today we'll be talking about an Upworthy article entitled 5 Core Memories Your Child Will Cherish.
Okay, so I think I'm already way off base because when I hear core memory, I think of computers. And I'm like, oh, yes, dual core. Yes. So we're not talking about computers.
We're not talking about computers.
Okay, so what is a core memory then?
So core memories are a specific set of memories that hold more emotional value than others.
Okay.
But it's interesting to note that the term core memory doesn't actually come from science.
What?
It's a made-up term from a movie.
Okay, so you didn't make it up.
I didn't make it up.
Okay, I was
a
like-
movie made it up.
Okay, so we're going to blame the
But
movie for this.
We'll blame the movie, which is a good movie.
Is it good?
It is good.
Okay.
But the term core memory is helpful in demonstrating how powerful memories are.
All right. So in other words, the core memories are specific. They hold a lot of emotional value.
Mm-hmm.
So what would a core memory be like? Maybe if like you win something or something, maybe you fail at something like kind of leaves a deep impression on yourself, or any kind of big event. Is that the idea?
Yeah, any memory of emotional significance.
So what if you can't remember anything? That's how I live my life. I have like zero memory. So I have no core memories.
Well,
I guess the idea.
Yeah, these days I'm much older now, and yeah, memories are starting.
Are you having that problem as well?
Yes.
I feel like I've had this problem for a long time, actually. So I don't feel like age has anything to do with it. But I guess, okay, so what it comes to mind for me is like if I think of something with like a deep emotional value, sometimes if I hear a particular song or if I smell a particular smell, I'll have like a sudden, like something comes to mind. Would
Yeah.
that be like a core memory? Like something just kind of like deeply rooted in you?
Yeah, and the interesting thing is that experts believe that children start to form core memories from about the age of 2 or 3.
Really?
When their brains start developing the necessary connections to process and store information. But during these early years, they might have fragmented and limited memories.
So that's where I'm stuck at. I'm like 2 to 3 years old. I still have fragmented and limited memories, I guess.
Do you have any memories from when you were like really, really young?
I cannot actually confirm that this is a true memory, but I have some weird memory of being pushed in a stroller and kind of, I can't describe it except for kind of like misty, gloomy weather. And this could be just me like reconstructing my past because I was born near Seattle, Washington. And if you don't know anything about that, the weather is like rain all year long. But I have, in my mind, it's a real memory, but it could be.
It could be.
It could be like and that would be maybe like, 2 years old.
Oh.
Or younger possibly because we left there when I was like 2. So possibly.
There you go. Fragmented core memory.
And it's only a little fragment. And I feel like I've had that memory for a long time. So all right, let's talk about this idea. So what are we going to talk about first about how core memories work and what are they?
So the first core memory that a child will cherish is quality time together.
With the parent? Maybe that's what that was then. Because I remember being in a stroller. I'm pretty sure it was my mom pushing me. So that's possibly a core memory. Or I just completely made it up. It's one of the two. So it could be a core memory, though. And often it's like spending time with a parent and just having that feeling together.
Yeah, when we as parents take the time to focus only on our children, it makes that time very special. It could be something as simple as a family game night or reading books at bedtime. Even just spending time talking can create strong, happy moments and happy memories. And these memories show our children that we're 100% present, 100% engaged with them. And they're memories that the child will remember a long time into the future.
Do you think your daughter has any of these already that she's kind of had, that her core memories she will carry on with her for the rest of her life?
Yeah, I think she has quite a few. I think one of them will probably be sitting in the laundry hamper and having talking time with me.
She just jumped right in there.
Yeah.
Oh.
She sits in
She
the
told you
laundry.
this?
No, she does this.
She does this now?
Yeah, she sits in the laundry hamper.
With clothes in it already?
Yeah, it's got to be half full.
I see. So she's very specific when she's going to get in
She's
there.
very specific when she's going to sit in it. And she's been doing it since she was young.
How young probably, you think?
Oh, she probably started when she was about 6 or 7. But
Right.
now she's 12.
And she's still doing that.
She can barely fit. But
That's what I was
don't know
gonna
how
say.
she does it.
That's why I was curious, because like I know your daughter is in surfing competition, so I was like, is she a little too big to get into a hamper? But
I think she is, but it's just something that she does. And
Cool.
I think it'll be something that, when she's 50 years old and putting her laundry in a hamper, she'll have a flashback to this memory of sitting in the laundry hamper having a chat with me.
right, and for some reason I was folding laundry for the hamper. That doesn't make any sense. You just throw laundry in the hamper.
It's the dirty laundry that goes in there.
That's the other thing I was going to ask. Like, that doesn't bother her at all? Like, the
No,
fact that
not
it's
at
not
all.
the cleanest laundry? She's just like, I'm jumping right in here.
Yeah.
And the whole reason she wants to be in there is to spend time with you.
Yeah, but it's not even in the same room. Like, she'll pull it up to the door of
This is
another room
fascinating.
that I'm sitting in.
Okay.
And have a chat with me from room to room, sitting in the doorway in the laundry hamper.
Yes, I certainly think she's going to remember this at some point later in her life. I wonder how she'll look back on it. Do you think she'll be like slightly embarrassed by it at all, or it'll just be like a pleasant memory?
Well, since she doesn't hear the broadcast, she'll never be embarrassed by
Oops.
it. But I think she'll look back on it as a fond memory.
Cool. Very interesting. It's a little peek into Cheryl's like family life there. Yeah, I wonder if my kids are going to have anything like that that'll be unique to them. Nothing that I can point out yet, but they definitely like to spend time with us, especially reading books. They will every day. They'll be like, they'll just grab a book and like put it in my face and like, you're reading this now. Okay.
They'll probably remember like a favorite book, the book that they keep coming back to you with.
Ooh, we have a couple of those. Yeah, we definitely have a couple of those. My daughter, she's about 3 now, so she pretty much picks Go to Sheep is her favorite for me. It's instead of Go to Sleep. It's a book with sheep saying Go to Sheep incessantly. Yes, I've read that 3 billion times. I will never forget that for sure. That's a core memory for me now as well. So is that how it works though? So core memories are basically formed when you're younger and not when you're older, or?
No, we still continue to form core memories as we grow,
And even though this is a completely made up term by a movie.
even though it's a completely made up term by a movie.
So, but this is something that I guess people have kind of jumped onto because of the movie and have kind of started to say, like, whether these things, maybe core memory wasn't the original term that people used for it, but these are actual things that people form. It just means like a really deeply rooted experience that you have.
Yeah, well, almost an imprint.
Ah, right. Maybe that was the original term for it, in fact. Imprint versus core memory. Cool. Okay. So what's another thing about core memories that's important to know?
So the next type of core memory is words of encouragement.
Okay. So in other words, just if somebody does something well, or not even, just anytime somebody wants to do something and you say, hey, you can do it, or you're doing a good job, or I really like when you do this, or anything like that.
Yeah, according to experts, when we give our children words of encouragement, they impact our children in both good and tough times.
Oh, okay.
And kids are always seeking approval from their parents. And positive words can be a strong motivator and source of comfort.
Right.
And they can help kids believe in themselves and give them confidence to take on new challenges and keep going when times get tough.
And you think besides the laundry hamper, has your daughter had this kind of experience as well? with words of encouragement?
Absolutely. I think the majority of her core memories from her late childhood years through early adolescence are going to come from her sport.
Right.
And her competitions and the support that she gets from those. How we talk about her failures and frame them as a path to success, to create wins. And also with schoolwork, there are subjects that she doesn't excel in.
Yeah,
So
you told me, right?
I remind her that everyone's style of learning is different and not everyone can be good at every subject, but as long as she gives it a go and tries her best, I'll accept that she has difficulty passing certain subjects.
Was that last week, I believe? Actually, on the air, we were talking about that, how your daughter failed at a test like in an unbelievable fashion.
Yes.
And that was, we were discussing like why it's important to teach your children to learn how to fail.
Exactly.
And actually, we had a comment about that as well from a listener who said, yeah, failure is definitely something valuable to learn. And yeah, so in other words, this could be something that's a core memory as well. Your child has an experience that is a failure, but if they get some words of encouragement,
Exactly.
it'll just kind of remind them, like, you know what, failure's not that big a deal. Somebody's got my back.
Exactly right. Yeah, kids need to know that we believe in them.
Right,
That's important.
right, and that's sometimes words are the best way to do that, right? And actually, I think we talked about this last week. But what particular subject was it that she struggled with?
Oh, goodness, maths. And I'm the same. I just don't have the brain power to wrap my head around any type of math problem that's got alphabet in it.
I am with both of you. Math is like not my favorite. I was good up until a point, and then they were like, all right, now study. And I was like, The basics were okay. And then I started having to draw figures and use the big calculator. And I was like, I'm out.
Oh, calculator. This is a long time ago.
Oh, yes. Yeah, right. It is quite a while ago. In fact, speaking of taking a while, we're going to take a short song break. Let's listen to Cherish by Kool and the Gang, and then we'll be back with Cheryl with more Parenting 101. Welcome back to the 2 p.m. Reboot. That was a lovely rendition of Cherish by Kool and the Gang. And that was a kind of nice way to kind of, to remind ourselves how good feelings can linger, right?
Oh, that was bringing back core memories.
Was that core? Were there any like dances that you have danced to that song? Was there any kind of memories there?
Yeah. Yeah, dances, ex-boyfriends. Yeah, a lot.
Cherish it, right? So we were talking about, before Cherish, of course, we were talking about core memories, and this idea of core memories actually coming from the success of a recent animated movie, right? And the fact that people are so interested in that movie, it makes them want to talk about this idea of core memories, which is probably a new term just coined by the movie.
It is, yeah.
Right? But
yeah.
so, I mean, it's an idea probably that has existed before that, though. Like you mentioned the word imprint, for example, or I think I said something lame like a deeply rooted memory. I'm just making up. I hope my term catches on. I hope people start using deeply rooted memories. But yeah, basically, it's not really a new idea. It's just maybe a new way to look at it and a new interest in it, right? So, okay, what are we going to talk about next when it comes to core memories?
So next on the list is family traditions.
Ah, okay. And those as soon as you said family traditions, I just thought of Thanksgiving dinner. Just popped up in my head. I thought about my grandma's house, thought about the food that's typically there. And I'm going to say it was a nice memory.
Yeah.
No fighting. Yeah, there was no fighting. It was nice. Everybody's just around the Thanksgiving dinner table, talking, having fun. Yeah, it's a nice memory. So this would be like a family tradition, right?
Yeah.
Perfect.
So according to experts, family traditions create a feeling of stability and togetherness.
They should.
Yeah.
They should.
They should.
Right.
They make children feel like they belong and are part of a larger story, deepening their sense of security and understanding of family identity and values.
And I guess maybe it's not a coincidence that food was the first thing that came to mind, because that's one way that families kind of show what their traditions are, right?
I think that's one of the biggest ways,
Right.
that families show their traditions. I mean, even in Korea, we've got Chuseok, we've got Seollal, and it revolves around food and values and ancestral traditions.
For sure. And these are
So-
things that have been handed down, like, as you mentioned, ancestral. So generations have handed down these particular kinds of food that you serve in particular ways with a particular group of people. That's all what tradition is, right?
Yeah, it's a connection
Right.
to the family values of the present and the past.
Right, exactly. And for me, I guess my family, our major traditions revolved around like Catholic or Irish kind of traditional values and traditional foods and traditional culture. So for me, like another one that just popped up was St. Patrick's Day. That was without fail. My grandma would be making corned beef and cabbage. And I did not have a pleasant memory with cabbage for years because of that. I was always like, man, I got to eat this. But the corned beef part, I've got many fond core memories related to corned beef.
But that's what it is. I have memories of my mum's cooking, and my mum was a terrible cook.
Sorry, Mom. Sorry, Grandma.
She's the worst cook ever.
Right.
But now I'm so much older, and when I look back on Friday dinners and meals that she cooked, I just think, I miss that.
Was there anything in particular she would make like most Fridays? Oh, is that bad, huh? Is it bringing back bad memories?
Is mac and cheese.
Sweet.
Wait a minute.
Go ahead.
With tuna
Ooh, wow.
and hard-boiled eggs
All together.
all together, and ketchup.
All right. You lost. All right, I'm out. See you guys. Go ahead, keep going. There's more.
And,
I feel like there's
yeah,
more.
and then she would bake it with breadcrumbs on the top.
Casserole.
Yeah, it's like a mac and cheese casserole.
That is a very creative casserole.
But looking back on it, I just think, oh yeah, I miss that.
Right. And it's something very particular to your household.
Very particular to my household.
Right? We
Yeah.
had a few of those. We had a couple of mac and cheese related casserole disasters as well at my house. But if I think about it, it is a pleasant memory, right?
Exactly
and
right.
probably someday we might make something wacky similar in that way that for our families, right? Like, because it's part of our I guess that's the idea of core memories, right? It's like something that's kind of like deeply seated within you that you want to share.
Yeah.
Right? And you probably will, right? Mm-hmm. Do you have any particular family traditions now that you have, or?
Yeah, every year for my daughter's birthday, my husband and I take a few days off work and she takes some time off school and we take a family trip together.
So whenever her birthday it is, that's it. Time to go.
That's it. Time to go.
Doesn't matter if school's happening. Doesn't
Yep.
matter if work's happening.
No school, no work, off we go.
That's a wonderful tradition. I feel so jealous right now. I think a lot of people would like to do something like that, right? Like it's maybe not possible for everybody to do that, but that's a great tradition that your daughter's probably going to be like, my birthday is something important to my family,
Yeah.
right? They are willing to stop whatever they're doing to recognize my birthday. Oh, that's so sweet. So where do you usually go?
So we usually actually go up north. There's a surfing pool up there.
A surfing pool?
Yeah.
Like literally like a pool that you can surf in?
Yeah.
It must be kind of big, I'm guessing?
It's huge.
Right, okay.
It's huge.
It's not like a kiddie swimming pool.
No, it's a huge surfing park that's been built up north. And we go there. We used to have big barbecue parties for her birthday, but
Okay.
those stopped a few years ago.
Any particular reason? You just, something new? No
Too-
more mac and cheese, Mom. Stop it.
Too expensive, and she's kind of outgrown them. She's not a baby anymore. But I know that she'll still remember them. I
Right.
mean, I remember my birthday parties when I was young.
Right.
Do you remember yours?
I remember for one of whatever reason, I don't know, maybe like being like 4 years old and getting like a Superman birthday cake and just being so excited about that. And I'm sure I destroyed Superman by eating him, but I just remember seeing that and be like, yeah, it's just something that pops into my head. When you say birthday, like, whoop, it's in there.
Yeah.
And like, otherwise I would not think about it. But yeah, it's in there. And that's something I'll probably remember for a long time. Oh, so now I got to really think about my children's birthdays and take them seriously. Okay, I will. But yeah, so it basically switched from going from like a barbecue party sounded like it was a big event, a lot of people.
Yeah.
And then you kind of decided to kind of downsize it a little bit, keep it the core family,
Yeah.
and do something that you all enjoy together.
Exactly. Yeah,
Smart.
making it special.
Cool. I actually think that that's going to inspire me next year because my children's birthdays have both passed. And yeah, I think if we can make some kind of tradition that they look forward to every year, that sounds like a great idea. Something they can just always positively associate with their birthday. Because for a lot of people, the birthday's like a bummer,
Yeah.
right? And when you get to a certain age, you're just like, I don't want my birthdays anymore,
I don't count anymore.
right?
I'm done. Yeah.
Right? I don't know how old I am. Who cares? But yeah, as long as you can make something that where they're like, oh, my birthday's like a nice thing, a nice memory. That's something good they can take with them. Cool. Anything else we've got about core memories?
So the next is acts of kindness.
This is a different kind of core memory. Okay. And why would this be a core memory?
So according to experts, seeing and doing things for others leaves a very strong impression on children. It shows them the importance of being kind and caring, and they remember how good it feels to help others, and also to see their parents helping too.
And I assume this means like not just like, being kind to your children. Like you want them to see you being kind to other people.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
And perhaps especially people you don't even know.
Right.
Right? So they could just kind of see like, oh, if I am nice to people like this, like I've seen my parents do, then this will have a positive impact on them, but also I feel good about it too, right?
Exactly
Very cool.
right.
And how do you do this for your daughter?
Well, my daughter has seen demonstrations of good sportsmanship from myself and her dad.
Right.
So when she wins or loses a competition, she always goes to the other competitors to congratulate them.
Ah, right.
And
You mentioned that
say,
before, right?
Yeah, you've done really great. And if they've lost to her, she thanks them for a good competition.
That's cool.
And I've always encouraged kindness. When she was really young, I told her it's more important to be kind than beautiful.
Oh.
Because everybody would always see her and say, oh, 이뻐요.
Right.
You're so pretty, you're so beautiful. But I didn't want her to live with that message.
Yeah.
Because there's more to life than just being pretty. So she knows.
Trust me, I know all about that.
Yeah, me too. So she knows that kindness is really important. And I encourage her to help others if she's able to. She really goes out of her way to support her friends and her classmates.
So it sounds like this is working for her, right? Acts of kindness has kind of definitely rubbed off on her. Is there any other core memory that we should know about?
So the other is comfort during tough times.
Okay, and why would this one be a core memory or how?
So according to experts, knowing that children can rely on you during tough times makes them feel secure and builds trust.
Okay.
And comforting them when they're struggling shows them that they're loved no matter what, helping them feel emotionally strong and secure.
So how do you actually create this memory for children, though?
So it's mostly through just being there to listen to them when they have a problem. No matter how trivial the problem is, being there to listen and give them a hug if they need one is a memory they'll always remember.
Right.
But they will also remember if you weren't there for them or dismissed them.
Uh-oh, pressure's on.
Probably more so than if you were there to listen.
So if you do make that mistake sometimes and you weren't there, or if you're dismissive and you realize it, try to make up for it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I guess try to put in a little extra effort to make sure that they know that you've got their back and that you know that they know you're listening for them, right?
Yeah, pull out the laundry hamper.
Right. Get that hamper ready. And is that what you do for your daughter? It's like, okay, come on, girl, it's hamper time.
No, she just gets it herself.
Right. She's independent at this point already.
Yeah.
So how do you do this for your daughter?
Whenever she needs to talk, I put my phone away or I stop what I'm doing and make sure there's no distraction and just listen to her. If I am in the middle of something and I can't break away from it, I just ask her to just wait a few minutes until I can give her my full attention. Most times she just needs a sounding board, especially now that she's a teenager. And she still needs a hug sometimes when things are tough, even though she's not a child anymore. But most importantly, she knows I'm always in her corner. And I'm sure when she's older, she'll have these memories of times that she was supported. How's that for an Oprah moment?
That is beautiful. That is something I'm going to cherish. So thank you, Cheryl, as always, for coming in. We're with Parenting 101 and giving us some great advice. Again, I think this, specifically about children, but I think this can apply to a lot of relationships, right?
Absolutely.
For sure. So thanks as always, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, see you next time.
All right. And with that, we're going to take a quick song break. We're going to listen to I Do Cherish You.
Okay,
by,
cherish you too.
Hey, thank you. By 98 Degrees, and then we'll be back at 3 p.m.
Your bridge to the world. BEFM 부산 영어방송.
혹시 지금 운전 중이신가요? 어린이 교통사고 피해자 수는 지난 3년 평균 약 9만 명. 특히 어린이 보호구역 안전기준이 강화된 이후에도 어린이 보호구역 내 사고는 지속적으로 발생하고 있습니다. 스쿨존에서는 반드시 시속 30km 이하 서행, 스쿨존 내 불법 주정차 금지, 차량 출발 전 앞뒤 좌우 살피는 습관으로 어린이가 안전한 도시를 만듭니다. 참, 운전 중 휴대전화 사용은 모두에게 위험합니다. 우리 모두를 위한 교통안전, 나부터 실천하면 모두가 안전해집니다. 어린이가 안전하게 뛰어놀 수 있는 부산. 아이 키우기 좋은 도시는 우리 모두의 미래이자 희망입니다. 이 캠페인은 어린이가 안전한 부산을 만드는 은행, B&K 부산은행과 함께합니다.
부산영어 방송에서는 글로벌 허브 도시 부산의 차세대 글로벌 리더들을 위한 청소년 영어 말하기 대회를 개최합니다.
BFM has organized the English Speech Contest for the next leaders of the global hub city, Busan.
전통이 숨쉬는 문화교육 특구, 동래구의 청소년 홍보대사들이 이야기하는 세계 속의 도시로 발돋움할 동네는 어떤 모습일까요?
From the inspiring stories of the final 10 students of Dongdaegu, one of the representative cities in Busan, we can draw the future of Dongdae as well look forward to the bright future of the global hub city, Busan.
치열한 예선을 거쳐 선발된 최종 10명의 본선 대결. 그리고 참가 학생 모두가 함께 도전하는 팀 대항 퀴즈를 통해 지역 청소년들이 꿈꾸는 동네와 부산의 미래를 그려봅니다.
We invite you to the 동래구 English Speech Contest with BFM, the finals.
8월 24일 오후 2시 부산교육대학교에서 열리는 부산영어방송과 함께하는 동래구 영어 말하기 대회에 여러분의 많은 관심 부탁드립니다.
This event is hosted by Dongnae District Office and organized by BFM, 부산영어방송.
The time is now 3 o'clock.
Baby,
Welcome back to the 2 p.m. Reboot. I'm your host, Casey McKeever. You just heard the song You Can Leave Your Hat On, a live version, of course, by Joe Cocker. And the song was actually originally recorded by Randy Newman in 1972, but Joe Cocker's version was a very swaggering version for his 1986 album. And in 1997, a version by Tom Jones also appeared in the movie The Full Monty, perhaps appropriately during a strip scene. You could probably guess what the lyrics of that song. Joe Cocker is quoted as saying, singing is a way to connect with people on a deeper level. I think in this song, they're probably connecting on a superficial level, not so deep on that one, but very entertaining nonetheless. Welcome to the program. You're listening to us on BEFM 90.5 here in Busan and 103.3 FM in the Gijang, Jeongwon, and Noksan areas. In Seoul, we're broadcasting on TBS EFM 101.3 FM, and in Gwangju, we're on 98.7 GFN FM. And thank you for joining us wherever you might be today. I got a nice couple messages I wanted to share. Obviously, I think if you were listening to the Parenting 101 segment before the break, there was a lot to take from that, and from a movie, from an animated movie. You know, so much interest suddenly in the idea of core memories. And Che Hisuk Nim saying, as I get older, my birthday is nothing. Yes. It's kind of interesting how we, spend so much of our early lives, focused on the birthday event as being something so significant and something to create these memories for. And then as we kind of get older, birthdays are like, another one? I don't want it. So I guess that's the idea behind core memories. These are things that you form when you're very young, and ideas and memories and feelings that you carry throughout the rest of your life. And then the same events, when they happen much later in your life, you're like, I've had enough of that. Yeah, birthday, schmirthday, right? Yes, I totally feel you. I know my birthday's coming up in October. I don't want to think about it. I don't even know how old I'll be this year. I don't know. Don't want to know. Doesn't matter, right? So thank you for joining us. And you can also join us on YouTube there as well if you search BEFM or Busan영어방송. I have some interesting questions. Obviously, a new listener wants to kind of know what the idea of this program is. Well, this is the 2 p.m. Reboot. This is the time of day where you need to recharge, to refresh, right? To re-energize. You had that lunch break. You might be feeling kind of like, I don't want to get back to things. So that's what we're here for. We're here to entertain you, to give you some useful information, hopefully, like where segments with Parenting 101 with Cheryl, for example. Some things that kind of take with you during the day to kind of re-energize you. So thank you for joining us, especially a new listener. Cool, thanks. Appreciate that. Hope you're enjoying the show. We've got a whole lot more for you today. Hour number 2, we've got our daily list coming up. I was talking about desserts at the beginning of the show, and I did mention tiramisu as being one of my favorites, and Yejin Nim also saying tiramisu being a favorite. That is on the list for today. We're going to talk about 15 must-try desserts from around the world. So a little preview, tiramisu will be one of those. If you've never had it, it's really common around the world. It's originally from Italy, but I've had it in Korea. I've had it all over the United States. It seems like everywhere I've been to in Europe as well. It's a very common dessert these days, but it always was. It wasn't always that way, and it's actually kind of a newer one. It's amazing how they kind of take off sometimes, right? So we'll talk about that actually in Inside Korea as well today. In Inside Korea, we look at some stories, some news, some events, some culture, things that are happening here in Korea. And one of the things we're going to talk about today are new dessert trends that are happening here in Korea. Tiramisu is not one of them. And actually, I was unfamiliar with these. So, I'm curious what they are and if anybody else has tried them as well. I've got another message I would like to... That's on topic. It's on topic, right? For sure. So 1191 Nim says, my question for today, right? My question for today was, what is your favorite dessert? We're talking about desserts a lot today. 가장 좋아하는 후식은 무엇인가요? So 1191 Nim's answer is ice cream. It reminds me of more when it's hot. The doctor told me not to eat fat, so I only eat it once in a while. But I want to eat 2 a day when it's this hot. Yeah, I am with you. Ice cream, that is one of my favorite desserts as well, especially when it's hot outside. Some people love ice cream in the winter, apparently. Not here. No, that's not for me. Give me a hot day and I will go get some, my favorite ice cream, probably has marshmallow and caramel and chocolate mixed in. You might know this one. This is a particularly favorite of mine here in Korea. Number 9, I'll say. It's got 9s in it. Yeah, oh man. When it's hot outside, ice cream is one of the ways for me to go too. This is a hard question. Why did I ask this today? What's your favorite dessert? I don't know. I like so many. So you don't have to tell me your favorite. Just tell me one that you love. Ice cream is one for sure. Tiramisu is one for sure. Red velvet cake. Hey now. That's a winner for me as well. I mean, there's so many. If you want to send us a message here, you can reach us by sending a message to shop 9050 or pound 9050. That'll cost you 100 won. If you want to reach us for free, you can use the Kakao Talk app and just search BEFM or Busan영어방송. You can add us and then send us a message that way. We also have our very own smartphone app. If you go to the App Store on your phone, just search BEFM or Busan영어방송. It's very simple, right? English version or Korean version. And then you can download the smartphone app and you can log in, leave us some comments. And also you can listen to us on the go. You can take us where, you don't need one of those like big boombox transistor radios anymore. You don't have to carry that on your shoulder. You can just listen to us on your phone. Very cool, this technology, how it's changing things, right? So we're going to take a quick song break. We're going to listen to the very confidently titled song, I'm the Greatest by John Lennon. And then we'll be right back with the Daily List.
Okay.
You're listening to the 2 p.m. Reboot, and that was I'm the Greatest by John Lennon. And now it is time for our daily list. Today's daily list, I'm excited because I get to show you pictures of food. So if you're streaming, if you're watching us on the streaming NoTube channel, you can see, we'll put them up here so you can see what they look like. Maybe you've tried some of these before. Most of these I have not tried. I'm pretty confident. Number one, I'm not sure. These are 15 must-try desserts from around the world. So different locations, different foods. Number one is gulab jamun, which is from India. And I think I have tried this before. It's sometimes served at some Indian restaurants, but I think it's like not terribly common. It's very sweet. It's kind of like got a crispy outside. It's very popular across Pakistan, India, Nepal, other areas of the Indian subcontinent. It kind of you might think of like donut holes if you've ever been to that franchise chain that sells those things, but it's not that. It's not the same thing. These are deep fried as well, but the dough is actually mixed with koya, which is a type of dry curd made by slowly simmering this liquid in cow or buffalo milk, and it gives the fried dough balls a very rich dairy flavor and a creamy texture. It's also deep fried in ghee, which makes it extra crispy on the outer layer, and then it's soaked in syrup. Like, these are really sweet and flavored often with rose extract or cardamom seeds. It's really common in India, especially during the Diwali celebrations, but they're basically popular, I think, all year long. You can get them in a lot of different places, and they're totally, I have had this before. Very well worth trying out. It's better than a donut. Donuts are great, don't get me wrong. Love donuts, but it's not a donut, and it's much better. Number two, we've got mandazi, which is from East Africa, and there are many different kinds, all kinds of regional varieties, but they're all good. I guess I haven't tried this yet. This is something I want to try. And a lot of mandazis are actually like triangles, and they are leavened dough that are laced with cardamom. Again, cardamom making, there it is. Cardamom making the appearance here again. Fennel seeds, other kinds of spices, deep fried and served hot or cool. So you can have it either way. They look really simple, but that's because often they're added with maybe coconut milk, to kind of make it extra sweet, or maybe some dipping sauces made from local fruit in Kenya, for example. So there's a whole variety of ways they might be served. This is on my list of things to try. I have never had this, but I guarantee you, if it's sweet and it's deep fried, come on, what's not to love? Number three, I can vouch for. Number three is key lime pie, which comes from the United States. And a lot of people, when they think of the United States, they think of maybe apple pie or cherry pie, if you're a Warrant fan, I suppose. But key lime pie, this is my go-to. This is a really kind of tangy pie, very unique. I mean, I guess there's like lemon meringue pies or something like that as well. Nah, it's not the same. Key lime pie, 100% American style. You know, apple pie, there's kind of like a lot of similar apple, confections and pastries around the world. Key lime pie, I don't know. Can you compare it to anything else? I don't think so. It's kind of a custard-based pie. It's made with sweetened condensed milk, flavored with key limes, which are actually kind of smaller than regular limes and a little more aromatic. They're often topped with meringue or whipped cream because it's very tangy and you might need that little help. But the best place to get it apparently is in the Florida Keys. I have had key lime pie outside of Florida and have thoroughly enjoyed it. Someday I will head to the Florida Keys myself and see. That's actually where they grow key limes. So it should be the best version there, right? Number four, I don't think I've ever had these. I've heard about these so many times. Mooncakes from China. These are popular for the Mid-Autumn Festival. However, apparently you can get them year-round in China. If you do go to the Mid-Autumn Festival in China, you're probably going to be served these mooncakes. And they come in a whole variety of colors, as you can see there. The most common variety is the Cantonese mooncake, which has a more chewy outer dough, decorated with traditional designs or Chinese characters, and a sweet filling of bean, I'm guessing red bean probably, or lotus seed paste, which I have no idea what that tastes like, but I love those little lotus, banchan here in Korea, those little rings made out of lotus root. I'm guessing I would love this as well. There's also a savory version of mooncakes, which apparently have like the yolk of a salted duck egg. Count me in. I would try that as well. They're most commonly given as gifts during the Mid-Autumn Festival, but apparently they're easy to find year-round in most Chinese pastry shops, and I can't believe I've never had one actually, so I'm going to rectify that. I will try one as soon as possible. Number 5 on the list is kanelbullar, which is from Sweden, and I'm sure I pronounced that wonderfully. It's basically a cinnamon roll. So this is something that you can find in many places around the world, but this is apparently where they originally come from. They're sweet, they're sticky. They're so famous in Sweden, they have a day dedicated to it. It's a Kanelbullens dag, which, you know, my Swedish friends just didn't understand what I said, but that translates to Cinnamon Roll Day. Every year on October 4th, it's to celebrate this creation here. And I did not know until today that actually cinnamon rolls originally come from Sweden. So thank you, Sweden, for that. It's great with a coffee break, I imagine. Kanelbullar are actually kind of spirals or twists, as you can see in the picture if you're looking at the streaming there. So it's maybe a little bit different than the ones you might see in American-style, let's say, shopping mall locations. Better Call Saul, for example. And if you've never had it, it's usually served with cinnamon, but also maybe cardamom as well, or cardamom instead. And they're basically at every pastry shop in Sweden and across Northern Europe. So I want to try the original version of a cinnamon roll. I've never had that one right there. Number 6 is alfajores, which are from South America. They might be served with or without a chocolate coating, but they're certainly a local favorite. One reason why is they're made with this magnificent stuff called dulce de leche, which I've heard of, but I don't think I've ever tried. It's basically kind of like a caramel-like spread made by simmering milk and sugar slowly until it thickens and caramelizes. You caramelize anything, I'll probably eat it. Not my fingernail, I guess, but, you know, most edible things. It's basically all over South America. A lot of times it's served sandwiched between 2 shortbread cookies as an alfajor, which this is dulce de leche in the middle there. So the alfajor is the cookie itself. And if you get it at any kind of bakery, you can get it at any kind of grocery store, apparently. I've never seen one. So this is something on my list of things to try next time I go to South America, which probably won't be that soon. But if anybody wants to send me some, let me know. I would love to try that. Number 7, this is another thing I'm surprised I've never had, mostly from Thailand, but other regions in Southeast Asia as well, mango sticky rice. It looks kind of really simple. If you love mango, it's probably a treat. I did see a message about fruit. So yes, a lot of people love fruit as a dessert. Here you go. You can combine, basically you got mango, creamy rice, which I imagine is like kind of sweet rice, maybe kind of like juke style, you know, make it more like a porridge. They add coconut milk, and it's basically that's it. And palm sugar as well, I guess. And, you know, mangoes are pretty sweet on their own, so it's probably not the sweetest thing you've ever tried for a dessert. They say it's kind of perfectly balanced, not overly sweet. So it's a great, apparently, after you eat like fiery Thai food as well. Kind of nice way to calm down your tongue after you just burned it alive with, you know, chili peppers or whatever else they put in there. So the specialty for this one, mango sticky rice, is typically served around like April and May when mangoes are in season. And you can find them in other Southeast Asian countries as well. But this is something on my list of things to try. I want to see. I want to perhaps make my own. I haven't seen it at any Thai restaurants that we have here in Busan, but next time I'll know to ask. Number 8 on the list is pavlova. Apparently this causes a bit of a controversy between Australia and New Zealand. Sorry, guys. I was unaware that this was so controversial, but we're not sure exactly if it comes from Australia first or New Zealand first, and I guess the jury's still out on that. I'm sure you have your own answer. This is one thing we can agree on, though. It's a meringue-based dessert, and it was probably named for the Russian ballerina Anna Pavlova. And I guess it has a kind of like a crisp meringue shell. It's got a chewy kind of marshmallow inside. It's topped, as you can see in the picture here, with sweetened whipped cream and fresh seasonal fruit. So typical toppings might be kiwi. I'm not saying that indicates it comes from one country or another, you know, in any way. Kiwi is just a typical fruit topping, or strawberries, as you can see there, or even passion fruit as well. And passion fruit would be an interesting addition to that. So that's something I would love to try. I've never seen it, want to try it. And I would try it probably in either Australia or New Zealand. Both locations are acceptable to me. Number 9 is Katayev, which is from the Middle East. Apparently, all over the Middle East, this is a festive favorite. It's griddled on one side. Yeah, it looks like it's not what I expected. It's griddled on one side. It's kind of a flat cake that's folded and then stuffed with sweet cheese or clotted cream or chopped nuts, as you can see in the picture there. And it can also be drizzled with rose syrup or cinnamon syrup to make it even sweeter. And it looks really interesting. I wouldn't know what flavor to expect from that. But basically, it's kind of a mainstay of the iftar spread, which is the evening meal served after sunset during the month of Ramadan. So that's like a really common time to see it. I hope it's year-round because, yeah, I want to try that someday. I've never seen it available, so I'm going to have to work on that. I'm going to have to make a trip to the Middle East. Number 10, a little bit closer for us. I think I've seen a knockoff version of this here in Korea, but apparently the Japanese cheesecake is best done in Japan. And you might be thinking to yourself, well, cheesecake doesn't come from Japan, does it? Well, this kind of cheesecake does. It's very different. It's squishy, it's soft, and it kind of jiggles. And I've seen videos of it where people make it and serve it, and it kind of bounces around on a plate. And apparently this is a big deal. A lot of people are really interested in this because it's a whole new take on cheesecake. And it's made with whipped egg whites, which kind of makes it different. And it also combines the rich flavor of cheesecake with a light, airy texture. And that's where all the interest, I think, comes because it is taking off as a trend worldwide, but Japan is apparently the place to try it. That's where the authentic versions are sold in chains or maybe boutique bakeries. And you'll definitely see it on social media now that I've mentioned it. You'll see videos Insta'd all the time about, people making this and then serving it on a plate to kind of jiggle around. Number 11, one I can vouch for. We got some fans also in the listeners for tiramisu. This originally comes from Italy. You can find it anywhere now. And it actually is not that old of a dessert. It started perhaps in the 19th century in a very interesting place, a location not known for high-class desserts, I'll say that. But it is something that a lot of people found irresistible. It's got a mix of espresso, sugared mascarpone cheese, and egg cream. Ladyfingers usually make up the bottom part, kind of like a bready kind of pastry, and cocoa powder. And for me, you can't lose. I've had this all over the world. The best version I've ever had was probably in New York, but I got to try the Italian version next time in Italy because I don't think I tried it when I was there. What a shame. I'll have to go back. Number 12, we've got polvorones from Mexico and Central America. And these are basically kind of crumbly cookies. They apparently go well with a cup of coffee. It looks kind of like a shortbread, gingerbread cookie to me, but that's not what it is. They're often called Mexican wedding cookies in the U.S. They are shortbread, but they are also kind of buttery, usually flavored with chopped nuts, covered in powdered sugar, as you can see in the picture there. And they apparently are served at weddings a lot, but not just in Mexico, all over Central and South America, the Philippines, even Spain. And this one is one for me to try as well. I think I would enjoy that. Number 13, I've heard of. I've only heard of it from my Canadian friends. I think I've seen it for sale at a Busan event here locally. Somebody made one, but I don't think I've tried it. This is called a Nanaimo bar. I think I pronounced that right. It's actually not baked. And this is apparently Canada's official national dessert. And it's named after the city of Nanaimo. I should have asked Andrew. Apparently somebody just made it up as a recipe at home for a magazine recipe contest, and it took off. It's got graham crackers, coconut crust. It's got a layer of custard, and then on the top part there's dark chocolate ganache. Sounds great. Yeah, it's very sweet apparently. It's got a lot of crunch. It's got a lot of snap to it. So this one is popular for Canadian bakeries, backyard picnics, all over the place. This is one I do want to try for sure. Number 14 is knafa, which is from the Levant. It's got nuts, syrups, pastry. It's all put together, super sweet. It's one of the most beloved sweet desserts in the Middle East. And it's made with kind of like a crisp upper and lower kataifi, which is a shredded pastry crust. It's got a layer of orange or cardamom-flavored sweet cream cheese. Man, that sounds heavenly. And it looks really good. It looks really simple in a way, But basically, the whole thing is soaked in lemon and orange blossom syrup, topped with chopped nuts. It's apparently an explosion of flavors and textures that's hard to beat. And it's said to have actually been invented in the Palestinian city of Nablus. And knafe, I hope I'm pronouncing that one right, in many different local varieties, is popular from all over, from Turkey to the Red Sea. So it's something kind of easy to find. I did not notice it when I was in Turkey. My bad. Next time I go back, I will try that for sure. The last one on the list, sticky toffee pudding from the UK. It's a British classic, apparently, especially after Sunday roast. And this is definitely like an old dessert from the UK that just kind of goes in and out of fashion, but never disappears. It's apparently made up of a dense sponge cake. You can see in the center of the plate there, it's kind of like, it looks dense. It's kept moist with chopped dates on top. It's smothered in a rich toffee sauce and then served with a dollop of thick cream or custard. And apparently that's people all over from, London to Cornwall. This is a tradition, especially on Sundays. This is one I would love to try as well. So these are 15 treats or desserts from around the world that you should try. And I can definitely vouch for the ones that I've tried on the list. I want to try them all. So let me know if you have some as well that you would love to recommend. I got another recommendation for a summertime treat or a favorite dessert. Watermelon. Watermelon's in season now, no? Right? So Chehi Suknim saying, favorite dessert, watermelon. Yes, fruit is a great dessert as well, right? So that's going to do it for today's daily list. We're going to take a quick song break and listen to In Your Arms for an Angel by Topic, and then we'll be back with Inside Korea. Welcome back to the 2 p.m. Reboot, and you just heard In Your Arms for an Angel by Topic, and now it is time for Inside Korea. We do this every Wednesday and Thursday. We talk about news or events or culture, things that are happening here in South Korea. And today's topic, hey, is dessert. It's no coincidence why I've been thinking so much about dessert. I saw the headline, Dubai chocolate, yogurt, ice cream, and cookies set new dessert trend in Korea. And I didn't know what any of those were. And I was like, I haven't heard of any of this. So, I mean, yogurt ice, I've heard of frozen yogurt when I was growing up in the U.S. Is yogurt ice cream the same thing as frozen yogurt? Let's take a look. So actually, until recently, you're probably familiar with the term tanghuru, or tanghulu, as it's often spelled in English, which is a Chinese candied fruit snack. Often I see it with like strawberries, it seems like, and it's just candied strawberries on a stick. I have avoided that because I am afraid of being addicted to it, so I haven't touched that. Yangang was the other one, which is kind of a jelly-like traditional Korean dessert. Those, for a while, have been the top two choices for desserts in Korea as far as dessert trends go, but those days have changed. Apparently, according to this article, Korea's MZ generation has turned to new kinds of dessert treats to satisfy their sweet tooth, which includes Dubai chocolate, yogurt ice cream, and the popular cookie, a fusion of croissant and cookie. So, well, okay. First of all, Dubai chocolate, I had no idea what this is. It's basically chocolate that's stuffed with pistachios and fried kataifi. Strike three. Kataifi, which I mentioned in the daily list as well. It's a very fine pastry used in all kinds of Middle Eastern and Mediterranean cuisines. And so Dubai chocolate has actually, where did it come from? Social media. Social media has basically had Dubai chocolate being shared, all kinds of videos tasting this really crunchy chocolate. It comes from a Dubai-based fixed dessert chocolatier, but there are actually now Korean bakeries and manufacturers making their own versions to, ride on the coattails of the trend. So it's now being sold at major convenience stores and department stores, as well as artisan chocolate shops. So don't be surprised if you hear about Dubai chocolate coming up in the near future. And I'm curious if anybody's actually tried it. Would you recommend Dubai chocolate? Because I have not tried a chocolate that I don't like. I haven't met a chocolate I don't like. Doesn't matter. Any kind of chocolate, I'm in. So they said actually demand is still exceeding supply for the Dubai chocolate. Right now it's being even sold on a popular online market where you buy things secondhand often. So there you go. They can't keep up. And another thing that people are really interested in these days is yogurt ice cream. It can be served with different toppings ranging from fruit to cheese to granola. They say it's a visually appealing ice cream. Also became a viral hit on social media after a number of influencers and celebrities, including Haewon of the group NMIX, and uploaded posts about their favorite toppings. And then a lot of people were like, yeah, I want to try that too. And a lot of people are convinced because yogurt is high in protein and calcium that it will be better than regular ice cream. I mean, depends on how much you eat, right? So according to one of the most popular yogurt ice cream brands in Korea, they have been promoting this as a healthy alternative to ice cream. They say the total number of these stores for this brand have jumped from 166 in 2023 to 350 this year. So they're doing pretty well. This is a trend that's taking off for them. Next on the list is cookies, which come from France. Also went viral on a Chinese video sharing platform that you might have ticked on or talked on eventually. And this is apparently created by pastry chef Stéphane Louvard in 2022. It's a croissant topped with chocolate chip cookie dough. And it has become a huge item here in Korea's bakeries and cafes. A lot of people are just interested in like where, it's like another one of those combinations where like croffles, right? The croissant and waffle, or the krungji, which is like a biscuit flattened croissant. People are interested in doing croissants in different ways here. So there you go. Those are the two trends, or the three trends you're going to hear about in Korean desserts these days. It's the Dubai chocolate, the, what's the second one? Yogurt ice cream, and the final one, the cookie, which sounds like something that somebody did wrong, but it's actually all delicious to me, and I can't wait to try them all. So that's going to do it for Inside Korea for today. We're going to take a quick song break. We're going to listen to The Best Tears of Your Life by English Teacher, and then we'll be back with our perfect playlist. You're listening to the 2 p.m. Reboot, and that last song was The Best Tears of Your Life by English Teacher. I had to look them up. I was curious. That was a cool song. That was a band from Leeds who recently formed, and that was a interesting song and interesting band name, English Teacher. But now it is time for the perfect playlist, and on this Throwback Thursday, we have a couple of classic songs for you for the theme about songs about water that we've got going on for the perfect playlist this week. Our first song is going to be Moonlight Drive by The Doors. And the lyrics to this song are about a romantic rendezvous on the beach under the moonlight. And apparently the singer, Jim Morrison, wrote the lyrics while he was living on a rooftop in Venice Beach, California. Interesting place to live. And he said at night everything was clear, so he would look into people's windows and see what they were doing and watch their TVs even. And he actually recited this poem when he met his keyboardist, Ray Manzarek, when they ran into each other on the beach in Southern California in 1965. You can see this scene in the movie The Doors, actually. And Manzarek actually knew Morrison at the time because they went to the UCLA film school together. He thought the lyrics were great and convinced him to form a band. They did so that year in Los Angeles. They became The Doors. And this song, Moonlight Drive, comes off of their second album, Strange Days, in 1967. Our second song for today is The Ocean by Led Zeppelin. And The Ocean is actually about their fans. The Ocean is the people that they would see at the concerts. And Robert Plant, the singer, would actually see this wave of people's faces. And he referred to them as the ocean in this song. And there's also a line that is dedicated to his daughter. The last line of the song is about the girl who won his heart. That was his daughter, Carmen, who was 3 years old at the time that they wrote the song. And he would update the age every time they performed the song, years and years later. And this is one of the few Led Zeppelin songs where all four members of the band shared writing credit. It comes from their fifth album, Houses of the Holy, which came out in 1973. And you might have heard this song sampled also by the Beastie Boys on the song She's Crafty. They also sampled another Led Zeppelin song, the famous John Bonham drums from When the Levee Breaks, for their later song, Rhymin' and Stealin'. So our two songs for today, Moonlight Drive by The Doors, followed by The Ocean by Led Zeppelin. Welcome back to the 2 p.m. Reboot, and that was The Ocean by Led Zeppelin, and before that you heard Moonlight Drive by The Doors, and if you heard a phone ringing during the Led Zeppelin song, it's not your imagination. It's part of the song. It's recorded in there somehow. So that was our two songs for today's perfect playlist, songs about the water. Those are both songs tentatively written about the ocean or the sea. And why are we doing that? Well, because tomorrow's Friday already, right? Starting tomorrow, the Busan Bada Chukje, or the Busan Sea Festival, will start. And to celebrate that, we're going to have our own summer special tomorrow. We're going to have a special edition of the 2 p.m. Reboot. We've got two local musicians who are going to come in and play some cool songs for you, some summertime songs. And I hear we're also going to have a special deal where we might have some coupons to give away for coffee as well. So definitely be sure to tune in tomorrow. It's going to be a really fun show. And thank you so much for joining us on the show today on this Thursday afternoon. It's been a hot one. I hope you got through it okay. And thanks for sending in all the messages and variety of pictures that we got. So we'll be back, of course, at 2:05 p.m. tomorrow. We're going to play one more song for you. We're going to listen to Promiscuous by Nelly Furtado. Have a great day and stick around for Your Busan.
That's throwing you off.
Nope.